Yes, the Prius. So in 2021, a hybrid really isn't that crazy of a concept anymore. I remember when the Prius was like the car you did not want to get, and actually it should be one of the cars that you should be after if you want something that's incredibly fuel efficient and compact. Now there's a lot of other vehicles in this space now. You have the Hyundai Ioniq, you're gonna have even vehicles within the Toyota category like a Corolla hybrid, a Camry hybrid. So why should you get the Toyota Prius Prime? Well, we're gonna go over that in this video, but if you guys are new to CarGurus, be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, but let's go ahead and jump right into it. Now let's talk about design. Now for better or for worse, the Prius is a very unique looking vehicle. There are a lot of people that love it. There's a lot of people that just can't stand the sight of it. I fall right in the middle personally. I don't think it's necessarily a beautiful car, but I also don't think it's an ugly car. I do think it's very functional. So your headlights are all going to be very slim, full LEDs because this is the limited trim level. Your logo is going to be glossed over with that blue hue around it, indicating that this is in fact a hybrid, and it's going to house a lot of your radar and things for your adaptive cruise control, for example. Now, as you move along the side profile of the Prius Prime, you can notice there's not a ton of aggressive lines. Even in the shade of blue magnetism, you can see there's not a ton of lines going on here. Everything's very streamlined to make sure it's as efficient as possible while moving through the wind. You have these small 15-inch aerodynamic wheels, low resistance tires, and you're going to have a sloping roofline because this is a hatch. Now at the back of the Prius Prime, you have a very unique design going on here. You have this full LED light that goes all the way around, and it has this sort of integrated spoiler right here, which is very interesting. Once again, this is very specific to the Prime. No exhaust down here because it is a hybrid. They hide the exhaust up inside, but I'm curious, what do you guys think of the rear of the Prius Prime? Be sure to comment below. All right, so under the hood of the Prius Prime, you have your 4-cylinder engine paired with an electric motor. So that's basically going to be the setup for every Prius, except with this one, this is a plug-in hybrid. So this one can drive about 25 miles just on electricity before it switches over to gas. But even when it does switch over to gas, you still have regenerative braking, you still have the engine helping charge the battery, things like that, to make sure that the battery is never really completely dead. And then if you find a spot, you can stop, plug in, and do your thing just like that. But the cool thing with the plug-in is you do get federal tax credits depending on your situation, which you do not get on the regular Prius. So that is a big positive here. Now this is gonna make about 121 horsepower, so nothing too crazy, but remember this is all about efficiency. So this will get up to 55 miles per gallon combined, and that is in the city. Usually hybrids do better in the city, and on the highway it's gonna be a little bit less, around 54, 53 miles per gallon combined. All right, so inside the Prius Prime, I can't even lie to you guys, this is a very, very cool cabin. If you've never even had the chance to sit in a Prius, it's such a unique experience. So first of all, you're going to have this huge touchscreen just dominating the front end. It looks really good. You have your corresponding buttons off to the side, and the screen itself could be a little bit faster, but the graphics and the way it shows things is very unique from any other Toyota that's currently on the market. Now, right above that, you have a secondary screen that is really cool. So I can use my buttons here on my steering wheel to control things that would normally be like right here in front of you. You just have it a little bit further away from you. But something about controlling this and having it move something that's a little bit further away just create some sort of satisfaction within my brain. But on top of that, you also have a head-up display here as well. So the inside of this feels very futuristic whenever you're driving it, which is a really cool thing. Now, right below that, you have this little nugget shifter, and basically you put your foot in the brake, you're gonna push over, down for drive, over, up for reverse, and then if you push straight down while you're in drive, that's basically a more aggressive form of regenerative braking. That's what that B is gonna stand for. Now, right over here, you have your different drive modes. You can put it in hybrid mode, full EV mode, EV auto that will switch to and from automatically. Heated seats, both low and high settings, wireless charging pad, cup holders, storage space in here, but your area only opens up to the right side, which is kind of interesting. You have a really nice steering wheel, adaptive cruise control, heated steering wheel, and you have a JBL sound system, which sounds excellent. It's a very nice and ergonomically well laid out cabin with a futuristic feel to it as well. All right, so in the back of the Prius Prime, now me being around 6 feet tall for reference, here's where I was sat. I've got maybe 1/4 of an inch between my knee and the seat. You do have a mat pocket here, as well as a secondary like hidden space right here, which you only have behind the driver's seat. It is closed by this little zipper, which is kind of interesting. You have two USBs right here in the middle, your two cup holders, nice soft area to rest your arm. The head area actually isn't that great. Now, once again, 6 feet tall with big hair. My hair is definitely touching, and the seat doesn't recline at all. So this is your set seating position, which is kind of upright for my liking, especially on a longer trip. I would like to recline or relax a little bit more. So unfortunately, I would not be very comfortable back here. But if you are a little bit shorter or of average height, you should be fine back here. But that's pretty much going to be it for the back seat of the Prius Prime. Let's go ahead and check out the rest of the car. So in the back of the Prius Prime, now you have about 19.8 cubic feet back here. Now most of that is due to the fact that your rechargeable battery pack is right under here, taking up a good amount of room. So for reference, a standard Prius is going to be about 27.4 cubic feet, but this is still more storage space than something like a Honda Clarity, for example. Now you do have your charging cable located underneath this interesting little section right here, and then you can of course plug that in at home and use that to charge the vehicle. But other than that, you have things like a cargo cover, and then because of the hatch opening, you can get things in a little bit easier than you could with a traditional trunk. But I'm curious, would this be enough storage space for you guys? Comment below, let us know, but let's go ahead and take this Prius Prime for a drive. All right, so driving the Toyota Prius Prime, and it drives like you'd expect a Prius to drive. And what I mean by that is nothing about it has this sense of urgency. I mean, this car is built for one purpose, and that is to get incredible fuel economy. So everything about it just really aids in doing that. The accelerator pedal is very, very long, so you have to kind of press on it to get it to go quite a bit. Now that can change depending on your drive mode, so I can switch between my normal mode, my power mode, and my eco mode. That was normal. Power mode is a little bit more instantaneous, so when I go about halfway down the accelerator, a little bit more urgency, but you still have to press on it more than you would expect in a sports mode. And then when I go to eco mode, it's even, I don't want to say worse, but more pedal travel is needed to get the car moving. So that's pretty much how a Prius drives. Now, other than that, the way it looks around you, it's very nice. So tons of visibility, large windshield, large side window. You even have this little quarter panel window right here, which is great. Now, when I look out of the back, it's the weirdest view because I have a sloped piece of glass, which means it's reflecting the sun in some weird ways. And then you have that big, odd looking line going through the middle, and then you have a secondary set of glass underneath that, and it's just a weird thing to get used to. I think you will get used to it. Will I think you'll ever be 100% okay with it? Probably not. You'll just simply get used to it. Seating comfort is really good. The interior cabin noise is okay. It doesn't have the most complex ride quality. It's pretty good ride quality, but I wouldn't call this a luxurious or plush ride by any means. The seating comfort is good though. It does make up for a lot of the sort of harshness that the vehicle has, and ergonomically everything is right within reach. It's a very well laid out cabin. Okay, now I'm going to turn on this B mode, which is essentially more aggressive regenerative braking. So all I do is push down while I'm driving, and I can already feel it sort of start to bring me towards a stop. It is nice because you can sort of one pedal drive. It's once again not as aggressive as something like a full EV or some other hybrids that allow you to control the level of regen, but it is very nice, especially if you're doing something like coasting down a mountain, or if you are in a very hilly area and you're going down a hill. You can simply push that down, recapture more of that energy, throw it back into your battery, turn it off once you get back into a straight road, and just coast, because this vehicle does coast very far whenever you simply lift your foot off the accelerator. All right, so let's talk pricing and competitors. Now, this vehicle as is around $34,995, and that's a decent amount of money. For example, even in Toyota's lineup, what I personally think is one of their best plug-in hybrids, the RAV4 Prime, starts at around $38,000. So if you have the money to get a fully loaded one, I would also question whether or not you should just jump that extra $4,000 and get a RAV4 Prime, which gets nearly 40 miles on a charge, about 300 horsepower, a lot more space. It is a very, very compelling vehicle, but it does not get the level of overall MPGe or MPG combined that this Prius Prime does. So if fuel economy is that important to you, I still think you'll be better off with the Prime. Now, there are other competitors, vehicles like the Honda Clarity plug-in, you have the Hyundai Ioniq plug-in, and those are really gonna be the top two competitors for this vehicle. But it is interesting though having Toyota have another great plug-in hybrid within their lineup that isn't too far off price-wise from this. So I'd be curious which one you guys would go for. But I do think the Prius Prime has its own very unique following. It definitely has its own unique look and feel to it, and some people may just be drawn to that in and of itself. So I personally think that this is a great vehicle. I think that people who get it are knowing exactly what they're getting into, and this vehicle will deliver exactly what it promises to. Well, everyone, that's going to wrap up the review of the Toyota Prius Prime. This is truly an excellent vehicle. Despite it not being the coolest vehicle on the road, it does what it's built to do incredibly well. And any vehicle that does that, in my opinion, is a success. Now, there are pros, there are cons. The pros are the great fuel efficiency, the federal tax credit incentives that you can apply for, and on top of that, you just have such a futuristic looking and feeling vehicle. Now, the cons, the futuristicness may be a big negative for you. You don't have a ton of trunk space because of the rechargeable battery pack, and you don't have as much rear legroom as I would think a vehicle of this size would have. But if the pros outweigh the cons for you, I do think this is an excellent choice, and you of course have the Toyota reliability. But let me know what you guys think. Comment below, would you choose this over something like a Honda Clarity or any of the other Toyota hybrids? And if you guys are new to CarGurus, be sure to subscribe, hit the bell, and visit us on cargurus.com, and we'll see you guys in the next review.